Welcome back, folks, to today's surgical pathology deep dive. We're breaking down the adenoma carcinoma sequence described by Vogelstein and Fearon in 1988, a fascinating and critical pathway in the development of colorectal cancer. Now, for those of you wondering, this sequence is basically the step-by-step progression of a benign polyp in the colon turning into a full-blown invasive adenocarcinoma. And here's the kicker, it's responsible for up to 90% of sporadic colorectal cancers. Yep, you heard that right, 90%. So, let's get into the science behind it. What's actually happening here? Okay, so let's take it from the top. This whole progression kicks off with something we call the APC gene mutation. Think of it like the starting domino in the chain reaction. APC, which stands for Adenomatous Polyposis coli, is a tumor suppressor gene. When it's mutated, boom, you get unchecked WNT Greek letter beta-catenin signaling. Translation: cells in your colon crypts start proliferating like there's no tomorrow. This forms a small tubular adenoma with low-grade dysplasia. Sounds harmless for now, but hang on. Next up, we've got the KRAS mutation. This little troublemaker activates the MAPK pathway, giving cells the boost they need to grow and survive longer than they should. At this stage, the adenoma starts showing advanced features, villous architecture or even tubulovillous patterns, making it way more likely to turn malignant. But wait, it gets worse. You can lose 18q, which involves genes like SMAD4 and DCC. These are critical for tumor suppression, particularly through the TGF Greek letter beta pathway, and losing them leads to high-grade dysplasia. And from here, folks, we get to the big villain in the story, TP53 mutation. When TP53 is compromised, the cell loses its ability to undergo apoptosis or repair DNA properly. This is the point where adenocarcinoma takes hold and invades deeper tissues. Other mutations like PI3K or BRAF might jump in to speed things up. It's like adding fuel to an already raging fire. Stages of morphology. All right, let's break down the stages so you can visualize this. Imagine starting with a small adenoma, less than 1 centimeter in size. It's got tubular growth but remains in low-grade dysplasia territory. Then, as it progresses, you'll see advanced adenomas, think villous features and a diameter over 1 centimeter. These have high-grade dysplasia and are much closer to becoming malignant. Intramucosal carcinoma is next, where the malignant cells are still confined to the mucosa, meaning there's no risk of metastasis yet. But once the muscularis mucosae is breached, we're talking invasive adenocarcinoma, and now, metastasis is fair game. Why does it matter clinically? Here's the good news, though, it takes about 7 to 10 years for this progression to happen. That gives us a big window for screening and prevention. Regular colonoscopies can catch these polyps early, and polypectomies can remove them before they escalate. There's also evidence that NSAIDs can reduce polyp recurrence by inhibiting COX-2 enzymes, and that's a pretty cool preventive measure. Now, if there's high-risk features, like an adenoma over 1 centimeter, villous architecture, or high-grade dysplasia, it's time to keep a close eye on things. These are the ones most likely to progress. Exceptions you need to know, of course. Not every colorectal cancer follows the adenoma-carcinoma sequence. Some take the serrated pathway, which involves BRAF mutations and CpG island hypermethylation. This leads to sessile serrated adenomas that can progress to MSIH carcinoma. And then there's Lynch syndrome, caused by mutations in mismatch repair, MMR, genes, which speeds up adenoma to carcinoma progression in just 3 to 5 years. It's a whole different ballgame. So, there you have it, the adenoma-carcinoma sequence in all its scientific glory. It's a fascinating topic that highlights why regular screenings and early interventions are so crucial. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or dive deeper into anything you're curious about. Until next time, Everything Surgery Podcast, dissect the extraordinary.